Hello, good day everyone. So this is Richard again for another edition of Learning with Rich. So I'm so very happy to be with you again as always, and I hope you learned something from this video that I'm going to teach you today. So for our today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to work with your drawing sheets. So how are you going to present the building model? So in this exercise, I'm going to show you how to create a drawing sheet and modify its view properties. And then after that, we are going to place also a plan and section view in our drawing sheet. And you can also specify, I'm going to show you also to specify the print options for selected sheets and views. All right, so let's get started. So for the first part of the exercise, all right, so I'm going to teach you how to create a drawing sheet first. Okay, so to do that, so what I'm going to do is, let's say for example, the project is already finished and then you want to create a sheet for that. You want to place it inside the sheet. Okay, so you can do that in Revit. So to do that, from the project browser, there's this option here, or there's this category here, or property, or whatever it is, okay, that is called sheets. Okay, so to create sheet, all you have to do is to right click the sheets and then you can select here new sheet. So aside from that, since sheet has something to do with view, you can also find this tool from the view tab. Okay, so you can click the view tab and then you will see here from the sheet composition panel, so there's the sheet. Okay, so you can also select this to create a page for a document set. Okay, so after selecting the sheet there, so I'm gonna select here the AO metric. Okay, so for this exercise, we're just using the default model from Autodesk. Okay, so I'm going to select AO metric or A0 metric, and then I select here OK. So if your company has their own company standard, so they have their own sheet, you can select the load here, and then you can load it from this one. Okay, you can select this and then you can load it here. All right, so I'm going to select A0 metric, and then after that I select here OK. All right, so this is the default title block. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is, so I'm going to duplicate here the ground floor from our project browser. So I right click the ground floor, and then you will see here duplicate. And then for this one, I'm going to select here duplicate with detailing. Okay, so I'm going to select this. All right, so this is now the copy. So just a review, when you say duplicate with detailing, it will include the details, the annotations of your floor plan. Okay, so I'm going to rename this view. So right click, and then I'm going to select rename. Right, and then for the name here, so let's say for example, I'm going to call this administration building. Okay, so this is what I want to call this, administration building ground floor. And then after that, I just select OK. Right? So let's say, for example, this is my administration building. So I do not want to show this portion. So what I'm going to do is, from my view control bar, so you call this portion view control bar. So I'm going to turn on the crop region. So I select this to turn on the crop region. And then you will notice it will also activate the crop view. Okay, the first time you click this, it will activate also the crop view. Okay, so you can turn it off, you can turn it on. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a bit. So what I'm going to do is, like what I've said, I'm going to show only this portion. So I'm going to click the crop region, the boundary, and then I'm going to crop it. So just like this. Just like this. Okay, so just like this. All right. And just zoom in. Okay, so you can do it here in this floor plan. But aside from that, okay, aside from that, you can also modify your view inside the sheet that we just created. Okay, so this is the sheet that we just created. So if I'm going to open this, so you will notice it's still empty. So what I'm going to do is going back to my administration building ground floor. So I'm going to select here do not crop view. Okay, so I'm going to return it back to its original view. Okay, and then I'm going to place it here again, drag again. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to edit this administration building ground floor inside the sheet that I created. Okay, so just now I cropped this view on my floor plan view. Alright, so what I'm going to do is from the sheets here, okay, I'm going to insert this administration building ground floor inside the title block. Okay, so to insert a view inside the title block, it's very simple. All you have to do is to drag and drop inside the title block, right? And then after that, you can click inside the title block to place it. Okay, so this is now our view. Okay, so optionally, aside from that, okay, so I'm going to undo. I'm going to show you another option. Okay, I can also go to the View tab, and then I can select here Place View. So it's the same as dragging your floor plan inside the title block or inside the sheet. So I'm going to select Place View. Okay, and then you just need to select here what is the view that you want to place inside the sheet. Okay, in our case, I'm going to select Administration Building Ground Floor, and then I'm going to add view to sheet. There you go. So it's the same as dragging your view inside the title block. So I'm going to place it here. Okay. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the view. Let's say, for example, oh, I don't want the scale like this. Okay, our scale here is what? The scale is 1:100. Okay, so I'm going to change this to 1:50. So how to do that? In order for you to do that, you need to activate the view. So how to activate the view? So I'm going to select the viewport, and then you can activate here. Actually, you can already change the scale here. Okay, so if I change that to 1:50, okay, so it will look like this. Okay, so I'm going to undo. So undo, all right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to activate the view. Because aside from changing the scale, I'm going to crop also the view. Okay, so I'm going to select, and then there's the activate view. So another option is you can click the viewport and then right click, you can select there also activate view. Or another option, you can just simply double click inside the viewport. Okay, but take note that make sure the settings on your options here, when you want to double click the viewport to edit the view, make sure the settings on your options, user interface, double click options, customize. Okay, so make sure that your view is like this. Okay, when you double click, it will activate the view. This one, inside views, schedules on sheet. Okay, so make sure activate view is selected here for your double click action. So meaning to say when you double click the view inside the sheet, it will activate because you can turn this thing off. Do nothing. You can select do nothing. And then after that, I select OK, and then OK. And then if I double click, nothing happens, right? So make sure from your options, the user interface, double click option. So make sure inside views here, instead of do nothing, make sure activate view is selected so that you can activate the view by simply double clicking the viewport. Okay, so I already gave you 3 options to activate the view. Number 1, just click the viewport, you can select activate view. Number 2, you can click the viewport, right click, and then you can select activate view. Alright, so number 3, you just simply double click the viewport. Just double click, And then you see now you are already inside the view, as if you already opened this view, but it's not. You are inside the sheet. Okay, and then you notice also your view control bar here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the crop region. Okay, and then I'm going to change the scale. So like what I've said, I want to change the scale to 1:50, just like that. And then I'm going to crop this one. So I'm going to crop. I want to show this portion. I want to show this. Okay. And then I'm going to turn on now the crop view. So I just turn on. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to click this. Just click somewhere here. Okay, I only want to show this portion. And then after that, we are now going to deactivate the view. To deactivate the view, so you just need to right click. Oh, by the way, I'm going to hide first the crop region. Okay, I do not want to show the crop region, so I just click this button. Okay, and then right click, deactivate the view. There you go. And then from here on, of course, you can arrange your view. You can click that, you can drag the view, maybe you can place it at the center. And then if you want to move your title bar somewhere here, so you can click the title bar separately, and then you can just move that. Just place it here. And then if you want to resize the line of your title bar, you need to select the viewport, and then you will see here the blue dot. So you can use that to drag to resize your title bar. Okay. So if you want to move, just simply click that and then you can drag. Okay, so this is now our view inside the sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to show you next is we're going to place section views in our drawing sheet. Okay, oh, by the way, you can also change the name of the view here because currently it's still unnamed. So you can right click that and then you can select rename. So for example, for the name here, I'm going to call this admin building ground floor. There you go. And then if you expand that, you will see the view that is actually inside this sheet. So next, so I'm going to create again another drawing sheet. So this time I'm just going to right click the sheets here and select new sheet. And then I'm going to use here A1 metric. So this is where I'm going to insert the section views. So I click this and then okay. There you go. All right, so I'm going to rename this. So let's say this is my sections and details. Okay, so sections and details. Okay, there you go. So there's the name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert here the section 2. Section 2 looks like this. So if I open the section 2, it's like this. Okay, and notice also that your call out here doesn't have any details, right? So just like the detail number or the sheet number. Okay, so there's no detail here. So it's okay. So what I'm going to do is going back to my sections and details. So I'm going to drag the section to inside. So I'm going to drag this inside. Okay, so I just place it here. There you go. Again, you will notice our call out here doesn't have any detail. Okay, so the reason why our call out here don't have detail, it's because, okay, so if I go back to the section 2, okay, what is this view? So I hover my pointer. So the view is call out of section 2. Section call out of section 2. So if you go to the project browser, you will see that this is actually the view created from this call out, which is this one. So if I'm going to open this, this is actually the call out. Okay, so going back to my sections and details, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the call out of section 2 inside. Okay, so I just drag this And then after that, let's say I'm going to place it here. Just align it here. And then modify. So what have you noticed? So if I'm going to check back again my section view, you will now see that it's already populated now. Right? Okay? So meaning to say, the reason why our call out here a while ago don't have any detail, it's because the view generated from this call out, which is this one, the call out of section 2, is not yet inserted inside the sheet. Okay, so that's the reason why there's no detail. But after I place it inside the sheet, you will now see that there's the detail. So meaning to say, the view generated from this callout can be found on A102 sheet, and then the detail number is 0. So what you can do is you look for sheet A102, which is this one, and then you look for detail number 2. Detail number 2, this one. So this is actually the callout. Alright? Same with your section, same with your elevation. You will notice the first time you create your section and elevation, there's no detail yet on the bubble, on the section head or the elevation head. It's because the view generated from that section that you create or from that elevation that you just place, it's not yet inserted inside the title block. So that's, you will notice there's no details on that. Okay, and then in case you want to print your model, so let's say for example you want to give your model to your contractor or to your customer or to your client that doesn't have a Revit software, so you can export that to DWF. Okay, you can use your Autodesk Design Review software to open the DWF file. Autodesk Design Review software is a free software. Okay, so just close this one. It's a free software, so in case your client doesn't have any software, Revit, okay, they can use the Autodesk Design Review to view your model. Now, how to export? So I'm going to select here, big letter R, application button. So there's the option export. And then there you go. So there's the DWF here. So I click this. And then you will now see, okay, the settings here is current view sheet only. Okay, so meaning to say, you will be exporting this. Now, if you want to include other views other than your current view or current sheet, you can just expand this option, this drop-down arrow, just expand that, and then you can select in session view sheet set. So you can click this, and then you can click this drop-down arrow, okay, this one, and then you look for all views and sheets in the model. Okay, so from here, you can just simply check what are the views that you want to include to the one that you're going to export. Like, for example, I also want to export the sheet admin building that we just created. So I just select here OK. And then you just need to save it inside. Okay. So for example, I'll just call this export exercise. There you go. And then I'll just change this. I just select DWF. And then I just select OK. So there you go. So that's how you export your view or sheet to DWF. So after you place all the floor plans, the views that you created for documentation, you created sheets. So you insert the views inside the sheets. Okay, and then you can just export that. Or you can also specify the print option. So let's say, oh, they don't have this Autodesk Design Review, but they do have a PDF reader. Okay, so you can just print that, Control P, and then you can print that to PDF. Okay, so you can select that. You can also select here this option, selected view sheets. Then you can select, right? And then you can just click again, and then I just select OK. And then you can specify here where you want to save it. Okay, and then after that, you can just select OK. You have chosen to print two view sheets as separate files. This operation cannot be cancelled. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Alright, so this is my export exercise. Just save it. So that's how you export. Okay, so number 2. Alright. Okay. Alright, so that's how you present the building model in Revit. So that's how you create drawing sheet, modify its properties, how to export, and how to print to PDF. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. So you can just like this video if you learned something from this one, and you can also subscribe to my channel. And until then, bye bye.